There's a question about location, where the story's happening, who it's happening with. Now, the idea, of course, real estate is you want to find the absolute best place, right? The absolute right location. I want you to think about that. When you're shopping for a place, you can think, well, what's the nicest, if you had to live in any district in Edmonton, where you'd be living, which street you'd be living on, what your house would look like. But that's a big thing, is what district you want to be in. It's got to be in the right place. I just want you to hold on to that in your mind. Let's listen to the first 7 verses.
In those days, a decree went out from Emperor Augustus that all the votes should be registered. This was the first registration, and was taken while Quirinius was governor of Syria. All went to their own towns to be registered. Joseph also went from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to the city of David, called Bethlehem, because he was descended from the house and family of David. He went to be registered with Mary, to whom he was engaged, and who was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for her to deliver her child, and she gave birth to her firstborn son, and wrapped him in bands of cloth, and laid him in a manger, because there was no place for them in the inn.
So where should a king be born? Prince William, who might be king one day, was born at St. Mary's Hospital. Prince Charles was born there. Princess Charlotte was born there. Prince George was born there. It's his hospital. You can go visit it. That's where, if you're a king, that's where our king's supposed to be born. Elizabeth was born in her maternal grandfather's house. Abraham Lincoln was born in a log cabin in Hardin County, Kentucky. John A. MacDonald was born in a house that his family was sharing with another family in Glasgow. Prior to the Second World War, 50% of all births took place in a house. If you go over to Europe, it's up to around 80%. So that was very, very common that you would be born in a house. So that's not unusual, the idea that you're being born outside of a hospital, that you're born in a house. That's actually still very, very common around the planet today. This is supposed to be the King of Israel, the Messiah, the son of David. We're told he's supposed to be born in Bethlehem. And so the assumption is that when he's born in Bethlehem, of course he's going to be born in a house. And there's going to be midwives and clean sheets and all those sorts of things that we would imagine with a good, solid home birth. But that doesn't happen. Instead, this story takes place in a stable, and he's born and laid in the manger. So the whole thing about location is wrong. This is the wrong location for this story to be taking place.
Live with you there.
In that region, there were shepherds living in the fields, keeping watch over their flock by night. Then an angel of the Lord stood before them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, for see, I am bringing you good news of great joy for all the people. To you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is the Messiah, the Lord. This will be a sign to you. You will find a child wrapped in bands of cloth and lying in a manger." And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of heavenly hosts, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest heaven, and honor and peace among those whom he favors."
So the next question on location, where would you find angels? You expect to see angels in the heavenly realm. You don't expect to see them here. They show up in Scripture sometimes with the prophets. Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Isaiah saw an angel. Jacob saw a stream of angels going up a ladder into heaven. But it's pretty rare. Usually angels are up there and we're here. In this story, the angels, though, are present not in heaven, but out in the field about a mile west of of where this is taking place. And they appear to shepherds. Now, if you're trying to sell something, You want to publicize it. You want the right people to know about it. You got to write the right vehicle or whatever sort of thing in that, right? Telling shepherds about the greatest thing that's maybe ever happened in human history isn't very smart. They would have been better off if they'd gone to the Temple of Jerusalem, which is about 6 miles north of here, where this happened. Second biggest building on the planet at that time. Lots of priests and everything else. If the angels had appeared to them, the world would have known in a twinkling. But the angels don't do that. They come and they're with these shepherds. So they're in the wrong place with the wrong people. So the shepherds are told where the child is to be found, the location, and they go and they find, so these people, the wrong people, come here and they see the child. Interesting thing in this story is that we're told that the shepherds are filled with joy and happiness, and they're singing praises. And you get a sense that this child that was in the manger here is now residing somewhere else. Somehow it's touched and it's now residing in these shepherds. These shepherds hadn't fasted, they didn't follow the law, they didn't plan on any of these, they didn't prepare themselves, purify themselves, wash themselves in a river. The Holy One of Israel nevertheless moves into them. And I think that's the point of the whole story. And I want to talk about this. I've been hard about this. You're probably thinking, talking to a cynical, awful, horrible priest. Came to the wrong church tonight. Talking about location, and the wrong place. The story happened in the wrong place, the wrong people, everything else. That's the whole point. I want you to look at the cover of your leaflet tonight. Everybody go and do this. This is really important. Why don't you have a leaflet on? Oh, no, we'll get over there. No, that's okay. That's fine. That's fine. Wrong location. Anyway, I want you to look at this carefully. This is Mary and Child. It's done by, I would say probably, well, first generation anyway, most famous Inuit artist in Canada, Irene Agudata. She lived up in Repulse Bay in Nunavut. She carved this in 1952 out of walrus bone. It's a very little thing. It's actually seen it in the museum in Ottawa of, what did we call it? Museum of Civilization? What's it called? Yeah. It's in Ottawa. Very small little thing. She made it in a snow house she was living in 1952. I would argue that this is probably my favorite piece of Christmas art. I'm going to explain it to you. First of all, the halo. There's only one halo. If you look at our stained glass windows, which are European, you'll see that everybody, of course, has got their own halos. We paid good money for them, and we're wearing them. Here, you have one halo. It's like the mother and the child together. That relationship of mother and child is holy in itself. The relationship is what's holy. Not necessarily just the people, but the relationship. I want you to look at the child. This is the amazing thing. I take this child, but we're having some difficulty right now. But a newborn, if you take them, and I got to hold a newborn last week, amazing thing, like it was like 2 days old. The mother holds the child out, and their little hands will reach out. They sort of see that you're going to take them, and they want you to take them sometimes. They're excited. They're kind of smiling a bit, and they want you. You've seen them do this, the little people, little tiny children. You know, you've gone to somebody's house. Would you want to hold the child? Sure. And they hold the child out, and the little one's hands go out like this, because it knows. It's happy. It's fine with you taking the child. It's distrust. she's absolutely caught that. That's this sort of moment. But it's interesting because it's got her hands out like it could be a cross. But it's not that. It's about a child with his little hands out. This is Jesus saying, I want you to take me. I want you to take me. My little hands are out. I trust you. I'm vulnerable. I'm a little person like the little people. They don't assume that you're going to drop them or do some awful thing with them. They want, yes, take me. Hold me. Now, that's what this child is, but there's another level to this. If you do take the child, and many of us here have taken the child, we hold that child in our hearts, Jesus resides in us, is that you walk through the world like Mary here. You have this child held out. You hold Christ resides in you, waiting. So Christ, present in St. Baby Anne here, I might be interested in that, and I'd like to take hold of that Christ, and that Christ invites me to take hold. And I can hold that now. But it's that amazing moment where the child is waiting. I want you to take me. This is the right location. This is perfect. This woman carved this in a snow house up in Nunavut. And like I said, I think it's one of the most holy, amazing pieces of art that just captures what this moment's about. God has come down here, and he's like his child. Tonight he wants us, do you want to hold on to me? Do you want to hold me? Do you want me to take you from this manger and go home with you? My little hands are out. Please take me. Please take me. And so tonight, hopefully we will take hold of the child in a new way. It's a lot easier to take. We all want to hold a child. It's easy. He's vulnerable. It's safe. The child won't hurt us. Jesus won't hurt you. You'll be fine. Although a few months from now, it might be a little bit different. He grows. He becomes mature in you, and he will change you. But tonight, it's very easy to take hold of that child. To take hold of God's love. To take hold of God's love. That's what this picture so captures. God's love is asking, do you want me? Do you want to take me? And tonight we say yes. We want to hold on to you. And we celebrate that great, great gift.